Are there any changes to the agenda at this time? Does anybody need the agenda? I have an
Yeah.
I can table the energy committee that we meet on Friday. And instead of my report, I just hand out, I have notes from the planning that I think sums it up.
Any other changes to the agenda other than tabling?
Here it is.
And Tyler.
All right, members of the public. Oh, I'd like to introduce who's present in the room. We have select board members Paul Madalinsky, Samara Sawick, Stan Noga, Bruce Mello, myself, Dot Maggio, recording clerk Vanessa Ballou, highway supervisor Everett Mark Bills, and online we have Fact TV, Leanne Parker, and Dan Towler. Welcome everyone, glad you could make it tonight. So the only schedule changes we just did those two. I introduced the members of the public. And I'm guessing Leanne and Dan, you're here for item 5A, the bids for the painting, correct? Or do you have something else you wanted to bring to the select board's attention at this time?
No, just the bids.
Okey-dokey. All right, so we're gonna go review and approve the minutes from the meeting of October 18th, 2023. With 7 pages. Does anyone have any changes on page 1 of 7? Does anybody have any changes on page 2 of 7? Anybody have any changes on page 3 of 7? Anybody have any changes on page 4 of 7? Anybody have any changes on page 5 of 7? Anybody have any changes on page 6 of 7? Anybody have any changes on page 7 of 7? Hearing none, I'd like to make a motion to accept the draft minutes as final minutes as presented from the October 18th, 2023 select board minutes as presented. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Paul. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes as presented from October 18th signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? All right, excellent. Minutes are approved. So the next under unfinished business, we're gonna open a little early, but we're gonna move on through things. Open the open sealed bids for the painting of the Brookline Meeting House steeple doors and shutters. We have 2 bids. Paul, let's give you the honors for that one, and Samara, you guys are 2 new people, so I'll let you present this second bid.
Okay.
I do have a copy of the request for proposal that we put out. Just for information, I did send out additional hard copies to the following painters besides putting it in the newspaper 3 times. Fremont Painting in Wilmington, Charbona Paintings in Wilmington, Southern Vermont Painters and Restoration of Dummerston, River Valley Painters of Guilford, Norm Holden of Newfane, Sprague Painters of Whitingham, and 802 Painters, Brattleboro, and Menominee. How do you say that? Menominee?
Momini.
But his name is Mo.
Yes.
Okay, that's why.
Menominee.
Menominee. So those were the ones who were solicited. All right, Paul, what do you have?
Well, you want me to read the whole thing or?
Well, this is for the painting. First of all, does it have insurance and a lead certificate on it?
Yep. Looks like
Okay,
it.
lead certificate. Oh, Guy Tanza has also joined us as a member of the public.
It has a lead safe, our PM.
Okay,
Then
so the insurance, okay, that's all there, okay. So what is the, does he have a summary or just a,
Well, there is, but the cost to restore the steeple will be $23,800. It includes labor materials, a 65-foot lift. The cost for the lift after all expenses, including environmental charges, trucking, insurance, and fuel will be $4,500.
Is that part of the bid?
That sounds like not.
so it's 23,800 plus $4,500?
That's what it looks like.
Okay.
You want me to read that again?
Yes, if you don't mind.
It includes labor, materials, and a 65-foot lift. And then in parentheses, including its required insurances, delivery, etc. The cost for the lift after all expenses, including environmental charges, trucking, insurance, and fuel will be $4,500.
So it sounds like he included,
$27,000.
included,
Well, more,
Well, 20.
well, 28,300.
yeah, 28.3.
Ouch.
This is a 1 month rental. It costs the same for 2 weeks rental as 1 month. If it rains for a period of time during the lift rental, there is enough time to compensate for inclement weather when it is locked in for a month. It includes 3 coats of paint. The paint should last at least 15 years. And then he says he's painted multiple steeples, churches throughout southern Vermont.
Who is that?
Mominy.
Mommy?
Oh, that's
And then
Romney?
Scope of work says scrape the entire steeple surface thoroughly to remove as much old paint as possible. We use 1.5-inch hand scrapers, sharpened steel scrapers. This type of scraper removes more old paint than traditional carbide scrapers due to their small width and sharpness. Once the steeple is scraped, we will wash it with a bleach solution to remove road dirt, pollen, mold, mildew, and any other surface contaminants. After the steeple is suitably dried, we will apply a complete coat of slow drying oil primer, thin to consistency that will allow maximum absorption. Oil-based primer is absorbed by bare wood and seeps into any cracks. In contrast, latex primer does not penetrate the cracks in bare wood like oil primer. Cracks in trim and other detail areas will be caulked after priming. When the oil primer is dried, we will apply 2 complete coats of high-grade acrylic finish. And then it goes on to the bid.
Okay.
Wait, there is something at the, thank you for the opportunity to provide you with a quote for painting the Brookline church steeple, shutters, and doors per RFP. Of note, the church steeple contains lead paint. Mominy Painters is an EPA/VT lead safe confirmed certified firm, and we follow EPA VT standards for lead paint products. That is 6 mil plastic sheeting on the ground and HEPA vacuums.
Okay, very good. So it's 23,800. I'm still not sure if the $4,500 notation about the,
Yeah, we might have to follow on
that,
that.
You might have to call on
yeah,
that.
that's
That's
include,
not
that
clear.
includes.
I'll make a
in there
note.
or not.
Yeah.
I can talk to him.
Okay.
Is lift included?
I think the lift, it was something else that wasn't a part of it, correct? But Paul was reading it.
I'm sorry, say what?
There was something else that wasn't included. The lift was a part of the $20-some thousand, if I remember.
$4,500 for a 1 month rental of the
Oh,
lift,
okay.
including the insurance.
Gasoline.
And environmental disposal, delivery and insurance for that lift. So I'm thinking it's included in there, but it's not clear because if it's not included in the 23,800,
Why
then
did
the
you break
price
it
is
out?
28.
Why did he break it out?
It's an interesting process.
I can, yes.
Unless, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Samara, you had a second bid?
The 802 painting provided a bid. They provided their insurance coverage certificate. A policy declaration they provided a certificate of attendance and successful completion, lead safe renovator supervisors. They've had leads, I guess that means I haven't
Lead
compared it to the other certificate, but it's lead safe certificate. Their bid is not as detailed. However, it says, the description is repaint steeple and spires, scrape, sand, wash, prime, and paint. And then the first bullet point is steeple to be scraped, to remove all loose falling paint, any loose boards to be nailed back, pressure washed with bleach to remove any mold and dirt buildup, entire steeple primed with an oil-based primer, caulked where needed, 2 top coats of latex paint, and then parenthetically SW Emerald.
Sherwin-Williams Emerald.
Yes, Sherwin-Williams Emerald or BM Regal, which is
Benjamin Moore.
Benjamin Moore, right. Shutters to be removed and scraped, washed and primed, 2 coats of latex paint. Work to be performed with 85-foot lift. Estimate includes all materials and labor. Thank you for your business. We hope to hear from you soon. And their estimate is $17,600. And there's no additional parenthetical on lift tools. So the difference in the bid price, depending, is either about what's
6,500 or
23
8,000.
$6,200
minus 17.
without the 4,500.
Yeah, I come up with 5,900 without the 4,500.
Well, let's see, what did I type in wrong? 3,800 minus
23,500.
17,600.
6,200.
23,800 or
Okay,
23,500.
minus 17.
This does really say that.
Yeah, well, then I can.
And what, and most,
17,600.
Includes the lift?
It includes labor, materials, and a 65-foot lift.
And he just broke out the cost of the lift.
Yeah, you must have built
Okay.
out the cost.
and the total was 23.
So it's
23,800.
23,500 or 23,800?
23,800. Yeah,
23,800. There's 17,600.
minus 17,600.
$6,200 difference.
Yeah,
$800.
I just typed up, so 6,200.
All right, I'll go into it, just make a motion and then go into a discussion. Motion, second discussion.
So motions always.
I make a motion that we, anybody can make the motion.
You started it, you may as well finish
All right,
it.
I'd like to make a motion that we, accept a bid for $17,600 from 802 Painters to do the, church steeple work as advertised. I have a second before we go into discussion.
Second.
Seconded by Stan Nova. Discussion. I will make note that the 802 Painters are the same person who actually painted the school. He actually took off, he took off.
He was at the school.
Yeah, he was, worked for Momini before, and now he has developed his own company and has got certification. So Bruce, I know you have a lot of.
Well, I'll make it simple, because I don't want to do this all the time. Mo Mama sent me a list of stuff that needed to be considered. You have that.
Yes.
I would suggest that we make sure that corresponds with that anybody we accept. Of course, it's probably accepted Mo, because he gave me the list.
Do we have the bid to refer to?
I did.
So that we can
You mean
see,
RFP.
The RFP. Should I read it out loud?
yeah, I mean, I guess if it's not too long, read it out loud.
Bids are being solicited for painting the exterior of the historic Brookline church, steeple, shutters, and 2 front doors. A current certificate of insurance is required in submitting your bid, as well as a copy of your lead paint certification and anticipated start date. Neither one's had a start date, correct? Neither bid had a start date.
Neither bid has,
Neither bid.
neither bid has a start date.
Work must be completed by September 1st, 2024. and inspected to the satisfaction of the select board before payment. Methods and materials for the exterior painting are as follows: provide a suitable high reach lift to access the side and head walls of the steeple, scrape all loose and failing paint, seal nail heads with knots with stain kill. That was not mentioned.
No, unless that would be.
That would be part of their materials. That's part of the scope of
That
work.
would be a question.
Power wash with bleach under TSP, then rinse with clean water. Oil prime is necessary. Any wood to be painted, repair and renail any loose clapboards with stainless ring shank nails. Caulking is necessary. 2 coats of acrylic Sherwin-Williams latex exterior paint or an agreed upon equivalent. Shutters in the 2 front doors will also be scraped as necessary, primed and painted with the same materials and procedure as the steeple. The town reserves the right to reject any and all bids and to accept the bid it deems most favorable for the town. Bidders are expected to make an appointment with the building commissioner or to email by phone, evaluate the project. Sealed bid should be submitted to the town of Brookline, such and such. Okay, and the electronic delivery. Okay, so bids will open their regularly scheduled meeting on November 1st at approximately 7 p.m. So that is the
Yeah,
actual-
so from what you read, it seems like some items were mentioned in both bids, but not all items.
Right, and I
Which
think
is fine.
that's fine. They don't have to copy. I mean, we have
Right,
to
it
just say
doesn't-
as per SOW, and that's.
But there's,
And presumably, if there was anything critical we wanted, we would put it in the contract.
Yes.
That's
But it's- Our videos.
Can't hear Paul.
I say there are videos that you can look on online. The video that I was looking at, which was from the state of Vermont, said that any building that's before 1978 have to assume that it was lead paint. Now, with that said, it also said, now this guy, Mommy here, talks about putting plastic on the ground. But this video said in some cases, you might have to do a vertical plastic as well. He doesn't mention that. I don't think that mentions it. Right next to a daycare center. And I think we really got to be careful about, doing it exactly the way it has to be done. Now, the other thing this video said is that just because a painter has that certification doesn't mean that they're doing it. Someone should be there to supervise.
Yes.
To make sure.
Just,
So with that said, I'm not sure if it would meet this barrier. Yeah, this,
It wasn't mentioned.
mentioned around the perimeter.
No, it didn't mention
but they're
protection.
gonna follow the rules and say.
I mean, that would be something, if we accept whatever bid we accept, we should make sure it's spelled out exactly that we want it to follow the rules because of its proximity to daycare. Because there may be sensitivity to residents that would not be happy to see it not done properly. Things like that.
when the school was done, that wasn't done that way. It was done on the ground, 6 foot on the ground. It wasn't done.
Yeah,
It has to do
I'm
with
not saying
the
it's right or wrong.
height of the building. It's
Oh.
over 2 stories.
Oh,
That's what we've been told. So presumably,
well, I think,
we should just be.
yeah, or we put that in the contract.
Any other discussion, Chris?
Yeah, I wanted to do 2 things. I wanted to make sure that these points that Mo Momini brought up about all certification, of the lead and the IRC certification, less than 2 people, you have to register, yourself as a business. I think we have to make sure that we correspond with these people. That's the first point. Second point is, in the RFP, you'll notice that I very loosely put 2 coats of acrylic Sherwin-Williams latex exterior paint or an agreed upon equivalent. That, I put that in there for a reason. So I wanted to make sure that I was sure that the way the building was painted, see the lead, see oil paint, latex, all brought that up. First.
We're having difficulty hearing you folks there. Those of us, those of us who are zooming in,
How about now?
I heard that.
I'm usually told to shut up, not to get louder. Okay, I'll repeat it quickly, Dan, so you can hear it.
Thank you.
There's a list of specifications that are supposedly legalities that Momini sent me that I gave the select board of different certifications. And what I was asking the select board to do is to make sure that this corresponds with anybody that paints. Anybody that paints the building. That was the first part. The second part, which I was just getting into, was I very loosely put in the RFP, 2 coats of acrylic Sherwin-Williams latex exterior paint or agreed upon equivalent. And the reason why I did that was twofold. I wasn't sure at the time whether we'd have to do an oil base, which has been verified by Momini for the first coat, and the quality of the
They both said the same thing. They
but
both-
top of the line Sherwin-Williams paint. Who mentioned, wasn't Bear paint, it was another paint. Oh, it was Benjamin Moore.
Benjamin Moore, Sherwin-Williams.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is, we want to be the final verdict as to what paint's being used on that building. I don't want them to, okay, well, we can get this for $5 a gallon less and put that up there. I don't want that to happen.
Well, that's part of the inspection and they wouldn't get paid if they didn't use the proper.
Yeah, well, we have to agree upon what's gonna be used.
I'm gonna just check to say hi. My name is Dot Madge. I'm the chair of the select board and you are?
Yeah, I'm Rick Morales. I'm a public affairs specialist with the SBA, Small Business Administration. We work daily with him. I sent an email to Guy Tanza this afternoon, but I didn't receive any answers, and I tried to find the chairman point of contact on the website. I hope that on the website is like no more point of contact. That's the only one that I found. I came here, I was lost, I have been in so many select board meetings, like we do media, we do all kind of government meetings, just to inform about our assistance related to the past floods, latest updates and all that. I just need 2 or 3 minutes.
All right, I wasn't sure if you were here about the painting contract. That's why I wanted to, all right. And Mr. Tanza is online, so when we finish this contract, he'll be able to help us out. All right,
Okay. So I left that loose specifically, so we could have
yeah, well, we have. to-
agreed upon equivalent.
Yes,
So we agree upon what we're gonna use and then we're good to go. I'm not gonna be an idiot about it, but I want the finest paint we can use on this steeple. This is our baby. Oh, thank you.
all right, very good. Anybody else? Leanne and Dan, I'm gonna ask Leanne, you're the chair of the committee. Did you have any questions for us?
I guess how we're proceeding is that we're assuming that there is lead. Is that correct? We have never tested for lead.
We have to assume that the building was built before a certain date, that even though it may have been treated once, it's never going to be completely lead-free. And so we have
That's
to, every time that church is painted, it's gonna have to be by a lead-free person.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, it is possible that we could have it tested by a certified tester. If they find lead, then what you're saying is true, but if they don't, maybe we could get it certified that there was no lead.
After this event, I think the next painting we would have to, but I would say right now, we put it out that we're assuming that there's lead and we did not.
Both contractors seem to think.
Right.
Well, you have to assume.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to assume it
Like-
unless you
Let's see what
Get
his
it.
certificate looks like.
certified.
Go
But
ahead.
you could have it tested,
Yes,
and if it was found that maybe.
not the $10 swipe
No,
test,
no,
but
no,
a real
no,
test.
you have to have a certified person, agency do that test. Now, it might be worth our while to look into how much that would cost. Cause then, all of a sudden, you don't need a lead certified entity to do the work, and they wouldn't need to put the plastic down, I mean, all of that.
And then maybe it wouldn't cost either 23.5 or 17.8 or whatever, 23.8 and 17.6.
Now, I didn't.
Maybe it
get
would
to how
cost
much.
significantly less.
Can I give a sort of clarification to this? Cause I
Speak
watched,
up, please speak up.
I give just a little clarification to what you're talking about, cause I watched Mo do it on the other building. And I think I put that in the email, basically he scrapes the building, he's got like a little thick pencil that you get at Perkins or WW, and it shows the presence of lead. So once he sees that, it's over.
Has he,
Yes,
Has he seen that?
has he seen that on the meeting house?
Has Mo Momini gone and done a test?
What's that?
Has
Has-
Mo Momini run the test?
No idea.
The answer is no. No.
All right, so
The
I don't
answer-
think you,
I have no idea.
I don't think you'd want the painter being the one who does the test.
Test it, exactly. You have to hire a company to do it.
Or any other,
I guess another question, if I still have the floor.
that ma'am. Mhm.
Is the procedure to have, if one of these is chosen, is the procedure to have them come in and talk with you about their business, or is this the place that the decision is made or not? I mean, we don't know if 802 painting is going to follow the plastic and the, you know, all of the precautions that it sounds like Momini's going to do with, some kind of a ban.
I would think that they would have to, in order to maintain their license, they must follow the license procedures. But
Okay.
I hear what you're saying. I hear
Well,
what you're saying.
And wouldn't
Let's say that you have a license, you go and you pay for it, you get a license, and you are, you know,
but then they
go ahead and do this type of business,
Sign
but
it
you
in,
have a
yeah.
building that has no lead in it. Right? So
Okay,
can, I'm just, the whole lead thing has me really flummoxed because we can't pay 23.8. We certainly don't have the money in the kitty at this point to pay 23.8. And
But
I think there's
the other-
still,
Go ahead.
and there's still questions on 802 painting because he did not identify that he would lay plastic and have the ability to clean the air.
I don't think that neither one also mentioned single ring shank nails or
Right.
well,
That's just,
yeah, I'm gonna
Choice of
like
nail.
entertain Stan, and then I have an idea about tabling this at this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as the timekeeper, we're starting to run over on the.
Yeah, but this is the.
thank you, I love that.
having been licensed
Can
by
I see
the,
this?
by,
39er, I love it. Go ahead.
having been licensed by the state of Vermont for 29 years and somewhat familiar with the process, I have a comment to make on both these certifications. One is from an entity in West Springfield, Massachusetts.
it's a training.
It's a training thing, and I'm not sure. I mean, in Paul and Smart, if you watched the movie, did they say you had to get a license in Vermont?
I didn't pay attention to that part of it.
Cause I took a national test in Springfield. I then went to Barry to take another national test
Oh my
and the
God.
state test for Vermont.
Mhm.
And,
No.
and they didn't accept anybody else's credentials. I had to pass in the state in which I was licensed. So I have a concern that whether or not they're actually able to, whether they're formally licensed, they have certificates, but are they licensed? And one mentions they're HUD certified, which has a real important meaning. The other one does not. If I had,
I noted there when I looked at the bids that you didn't see the 802 bid. The certification certificates are really different. One says lead
Yeah.
certification training,
yeah.
and the other one has a Vermont state sort of seal of approval on it.
So, but it was nebulous. It didn't say it was done
It
by
doesn't-
Vermont,
well, it
so
doesn't
it is
say-
a question.
Well, whether it doesn't even say it's certified, it says
Correct.
they're certified as having taken
Correct.
training. So they know the proper way to do it,
I would hope so.
assuming.
Yeah.
So I think we need to look at that and ask somebody of authority in the state. It doesn't mean they're licensed in Vermont and have adequate credentials. And then the concerns that other people are mentioning about the tarp on the walls. You're right. We have a daycare center. We have a family who lives across the road. And God knows where the breeze might blow, whatever sticks to the brick and the crevices, et cetera, and then end up on the lawn. It would seem to me like we're looking at someone who has vacuum and or covering walls, so we might want to look and ask each of them what their intentions are in that regard.
Okay, I want to make one point,
So,
if I can. Momami's done dozens of these. He wasn't gonna do it wrong. I'm not saying he didn't follow what you're saying, and maybe we should clear that up.
well,
But we
but,
gotta
but,
keep in mind, he's
But the-
done tons of these.
Now,
And
just
I have no
remember,
problem.
Leanne just said.
Leanne
they
just
don't have
said they don't have the
23
money to.
grand.
pay-
Okay, well, that's
to
a
pay for
different
this.
issue.
So,
We're talking lead in one
Right.
respect. The money, I was gonna, if I can make a better, an idea here. I don't know if you'll agree with it, but I think we should table it, get all these questions answered, okay?
yes,
Including where the money's gonna come from. Address your concerns, address Leanne's money concerns. We're in the process of doing the budget now, yes, so we'll be taking a look at where the funds are at, and then we can clarify all this. In the meantime, it appears as though the bidding closed, basically, we have 2 bidders. So we can table that, and we can,
Well, that's what I
Back-
wanted to
get
move
that-
on and do. at this
rather
time.
than take another 15 minutes. to talk
Exactly,
about it.
right. I'm gonna make, so we have a motion on the floor to accept the bid. We've had a discussion. At this point, I'm going to amend the motion and suggest that we table this to further review. I'm not sure if, Bruce, you wanted to do the research on this and continue following through and contact the painters and get
Yeah,
all the questions answered, or somebody else to do it?
No, not necessarily.
we should,
I want specifics. I wanna know what you want me to ask, with respect, spit it out, specifically about the lead part. Is that a warning?
I don't know, that's, I thought that was my.
So no, I would say the best, if you want me to do, I'd be happy to do it. I just like everybody to submit the questions to me, and then I'll clarify that with you all, and then I'll contact these 2 individuals. I don't know
Okay.
802, but Mo and I are tight.
Okay, Leanne, so right now we're looking at tabling the motion so that the building commissioner can do a little bit more research. He'll reach out to the other select board members. I'm gonna make copies of the contract for everyone so that you can look this over the next day or so. And Mr. Mello, and then you can communicate with Bruce any additional changes that you might, or concerns or conditions that you want to make sure is handled. Send it in a written form and an email, this way make it easy on Bruce. And we'll bring it up at the next meeting. Is that all right with everyone at
Yeah, I
this
think
time?
so.
Bruce is gonna follow up with the painters. We're in charge of sending our questions.
To Bruce.
That would certainly include the meeting house committee.
That is correct.
Yes.
Leanne and Daniel,
I-
I'm gonna include you in, and if you would like, I'll make a copy of the 2 bids and, leave it in the town office at the select board mailbox, and you can come in tomorrow and pick them up, and Mr. Chances should be here. Guy, is that all right if I leave them in, I'll put them on Guy's desk and you can pick them up from there. Is that all right, Leanne?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
So both,
I guess my question is, Dorothy, is that before you tabled the bid, you had an open conversation in regards to whether to vote for that. I think you need to have a vote for that and either have a positive or negative vote.
Oh,
And
all right,
then-
I hear what you're saying. I can do that. I can change it differently and then I have a second motion.
And then-
We're gonna vote, okay? And you, all those in favor of accepting the bid from 802 Painters as described, signify by saying aye. Those-
Wait.
Those opposed,
What's going on here?
those opposed?
Yeah,
The
we,
way it's said,
Yes,
guys, see what
okay,
you're
so any abstention? Okay, the motion did not pass to accept the bid at $17,600 from 802 Painters. The discussion was to follow up and put it on the agenda for the next meeting. At this point, I make a motion that I'll do this. I'm going to make a motion that the building commissioner will follow up with the painters and concur with the rest of the select board members and the meeting house committee members as to the particulars regarding the lead-based painting certification, and it will come back to the next select board meeting, okay? May I have a second on that?
The
Second
different
on my motion?
certifications, I gotta clear.
I'll
Yeah.
second it.
Bruce, Paul seconded. Any other discussion? Did you?
No, other than, and also to clarify these different
That's
points.
what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask, well, I don't have to ask Mo, because he already said it, but I have to ask this 802 painters, whoever he is. if
And you
he-
could check with the state to see if it's registered.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, so we have a motion that's been seconded and discussed. All those in favor of tabling this into the next meeting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. Okay, I'm gonna step back if you don't mind. Dan, do you have anything you'd like to add? I'm sorry, Daniel,
No, I'll email Bruce. Thank you.
okay, and like I said, we'll make
Got it.
copies of it for you. So these are the.
Just
two
don't
bids.
do phone calls, please emails.
Okay,
Right.
Thank you.
All right.
Do phone calls.
At this time, I'm going to step back. We had a unscheduled member of the public who came in. He did show me, sent an email to Gwen Tanza this afternoon. You got lost on your way here. So come on over.
I don't want you to talk to me or no, I can wait until the end, or do you want me now?
Oh, no, we'll be here at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, you have 5 minutes.
Okay, no problem.
Okay,
Excellent.
so you'll have to introduce yourself, and that little machine is the
Okay, no problem.
microphone.
Yeah, I'm Rick Morales, public affairs specialist with the SBA, but not regular SBA, the Office of Disaster Assistance, that department. If my accent is weird, I'm from Puerto Rico. You all know that we know about disasters. That's why we are here.
Yeah.
So we are still here doing all kind of meetings, select board meetings. Right now, I was at the select board meeting of Domerston. I'm pronouncing that right. Domerston. I have recently assigned Wingham. I have visited almost all the counties here in Vermont, and you all know that Wingham is our primary county. And I have a lot of reasons of why I'm visiting here today, because you all know that a lot of people that suffer damages move to other counties. So that's why we visit all the towns on the primary counties, even though if you don't see like a lot of damages, a little bit of damages or no damages, we are visiting specifically government, because the government help us to share the information with the citizens through social media, website, with your networking friends, or you can have people here from the other counties, or people here with families in the other counties. Like you all know that Washington County is like more affected in Berry City, Montpelier.
Right.
And I'm glad that the TV is here too, because it's very good for us. It's a good, important stakeholder for us. The TV, newspapers, radio, we are still doing that, pushing information. The latest information is that with SBA and FEMA, the deadlines, the approaching deadlines were yesterday. But why I'm here today? Because FEMA and SBA, we still have the 2 weeks grace period. That means that the people still can apply with FEMA. They can still register with FEMA and apply with the SBA. That's very, very important to know. I know that this is not that close. The DRC, Disaster Recovery Center from FEMA in Berry City, in the auditorium there. I know that it's far from here, but we always recommend the people to visit these centers to have that conversation one-on-one. They can upload the documents and help the people. It's better than applying online. Always. And sorry that I only brought like one SBA kit, but I did so many select board meetings today, and I left the last ones in the Domerston select board meeting. But I give you, are you the chairman?
Yes.
Yeah, good. So I'll give
I
you
make
this.
copies.
Yeah. So here the 100 number is very important. The people can call there, they can answer the questions, and they can give the status of the centers too, because they are always constantly opening and closing depending on the visitors. So also I brought a flyer of SBDC. That SBDC is our research partner, a small business development center. They know everything about disasters. They have business advisors. This is related to businesses specifically. I explain more, but they have business advisors. That means and it's our research partner, because we give them funds and the state too, so they are helping with all kinds of applications. I know that in Vermont a lot of farmers, so they are helping the farmers these kind of applications. They are a very good resource, and they are very valuable. And on the first item, the SBA.gov local assistance. This is not only for Vermont, this is for all the states. The people can find on this website the closest center to meet with those business advisors. They know about business plans, marketing. They can find loans, grants. They know everything about any kind of program with nonprofits, with the state of the federal government. They are good resources. Also, I brought this is a copy. I didn't have any more originals. This is because this is not our federal agency. You all know this is USDA. They are bigger than us. They have program for rural development for farmers, and they have a program for public assistance for homeowners repair and business repairs for the disasters too. They are like FEMA. That they are FEMA, they are providing help also with public assistance and individual assistance. But I want to clarify the deadline that I said about FEMA is not related to public assistance. That's related to individual assistance. So we don't only assist businesses, we also assist homeowners, renters, nonprofits, and businesses. That's very important to know with the SBA. Also, I visited here. I'm coming to these meetings because why? The people get discouraged with the SBA because you all know that we are not grants from the federal government, and the people get discouraged. I always encourage the people to complete the procedures with the SBA. Why? No fees to apply. They don't have to accept it. And if you are denied by FEMA, most of the time FEMA refer the people to SBA. And if you are denied by SBA might refer the people back to FEMA, and FEMA might give them other disaster assistance like grants. So at least they can have hope to receive something. Some people use these funds to review quicker instead of you waiting for the payment or settlement of an insurance company. Some people use the denegation letter to attach that in the PO of FEMA to see if they can receive more funds. So that's why I visited too. Here is more.
Thumbs up.
I know that.
Let me ask you this. You are not FEMA.
No, I am SBA, but I
SBA, Small Business
I mean,
Administration.
So what you're asking us to do is to share the information with the community, and you're gonna leave me a packet. I'll make
That's true.
photocopies and I'll put it out on the
You understood
website.
perfectly. You understood perfectly. Yeah, that's fine.
That's
Glad to
great.
do that.
Yeah, this is of course, this is my business card with my information, but we always recommend the 100 number for the citizens. Of course, you can contact me here, but the 100 number is for the citizens, you know what I mean?
Well, thank you very much for
Thank
coming.
you so much,
Sorry,
ma'am.
not lost.
Thank you.
It's a little town.
It's not easy.
I had one question where I thought might be applicable. Is the SBA, do they assist people who do rental property?
Yeah, homeowners are renters too, of course, yeah.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
All
Because
right, so I'll
we
make
have those
copies.
in
I
town.
appreciate you coming.
Yes, for the time opportunity for me being here.
All right.
You did well getting here. Thank you.
Yeah, Chairman, one last thing, I always have to do this, I need to take a picture to prove that I came here, if you can take me a picture.
Sure, sure.
It's not easy to work on these days.
Okay.
Pictures of everything.
Okay,
I show you the picture of the Dummerstone celebration.
that's okay.
Sir, you can take us a picture from there. From that corner.
of everybody.
Like if we were talking an action picture. Yeah.
All right, we'll do this.
So, like I was explaining to you all, we are not the best option. We are an alternative. We have approved more than 23 millions. So for some people, we are the only option and best option, and that's why we are still here pushing the information to see if we can still help one more.
Okay. very
What is
good.
the interest rate?
Right now, as low as 2.37%, but that's case by case basis. But at the end of the day, nothing to lose, because if you don't agree with the interest rate, you can say no, and you didn't lose anything. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's why.
Cool.
You're okay.
Thank
you. Drive safely.
Bye.
Have a good evening.
Bye, sir. Bye.
FYI, we're running late here on this.
Yep,
Okay.
you got it.
Okay.
Wonderful.
We're almost at new business.
Yeah.
Chairman, one last thing, if you can share that with the emergency management director too, they are a very good.
That's me.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.
All right, the next item on our budget, on our list here is the on-call assistant for highway department to finish the discussion. And so, Stan took the time to, retype and changed a couple of things on the original form. At the last meeting, to remind you, we decided that, we would look for an on-call person that Mark could call at this time. At least solicit some information from people. Mark, I was gonna make some extra copies, give him half a dozen of these forms that he could give to people he feels he's interested in working with for on-call. And they can submit it to the select board, and then we could meet and discuss it a little bit further. Is that where you all recall the same discussion?
Pretty representative, pretty
And
strong.
I think
More or
we were
less.
talking about a rate of $25 per hour.
I think we decided that was a reasonable range, but
Starting
it would
to
depend
start
on
with.
experience.
Okay,
I don't think you'll get anybody for less than that.
right.
Well,
So
not a
at this
chance.
point, I'll give this at the end of the meeting to Mark. So Mark, I'm gonna ask you if you have some people that you're interested in working with on call, that you could have them connect with me or you. And you know how to reach me. The other thing I did want to make a point was that I did find out at yesterday's road foreman meeting that Athens has lost there was a death in the Athens Road Department, and so there is one person working there now, correct?
You're right.
And so, unofficially or on the side, I was asked, would Brookline consider a mutual shared agreement with Mark helping out Athens and Athens helping out Mark going forward in the future? It's something to discuss. It's called mutual assistance.
Okay.
It's shared services,
I'm open
which
minded.
is the way things are gonna go in the
I think
future.
shared services is good idea.
Right, and
We
I-
should put it on the agenda for the next.
Well, actually, wait a bit. I've asked Wyndham Regional to come up with a training session for all of us on shared services and the rules, regulations and parameters and the best way to do it. Because there's a lot of information, and for one or two people to try to find it, Wyndham Regional has a fairly good handle
And
on,
when will that happen?
well, I just talked to them yesterday.
Okay, so we don't know yet.
Correct.
Okay,
So, again, we're just finishing up the discussion. Are we in agreement? Make copies, give this to Mark,
Doesn't hurt to consider.
right? And then we'll
Open-minded.
continue on with the other idea of working.
How do you feel about it? You're the,
Yeah, I
okay, good.
I was actually having conversation, I happened to meet at the town line the same time Athens road person was coming down to turn around, and so we got out and talked to each other, and conversation came up about being a little short-handed and, what they were gonna do, and he said that, maybe the select boards could talk together and
Which is what
maybe we could
okay.
pay a day or per day or, you know.
Okay,
But in the meanwhile, we'll just work with
Yeah.
this and you can give one to him anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, because if otherwise we have to have a formal agreement with select boards. For this, we don't have to involve another select board at this time. And we may not have that much need this winter, but if there's a storm,
Right,
okay.
yeah, and also, you know, other neighboring towns are in the same boat as well. They don't have full crews and,
Townsend just, yeah,
looking to share.
right.
right. All right, so I'm gonna move on. Then to, Mark, we put on the table for this meeting, did you have an estimate of the amount of tree work that you need us to do? And if so, should we start to develop an RFP for this winter?
Yeah, I'd like to, push it out a little bit further, only because I wasn't prepared for
Okay,
it tonight.
all right,
Okay, table.
we'll table item C. Do you want to talk about it in January or December or
Yeah,
February?
I'll get an inventory going on and then we can.
Maybe December we'll talk then?
Sure.
Okay,
That would be good.
Late December.
December 20th is the second meeting.
Okay,
Okay. December 20th for trees and
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I just also hear a brief discussion for RFP development on each of the summer storm damaged areas. We need to determine the cost for returning to pre-disaster conditions by collecting bids. Schedule date to review RFPs and we need to wait for FEMA. Now, Stan, just refresh me on this. With the summer storm with Michael B, they are doing some analysis and they will contact us like they did for the other storm to offer mitigation that they feel is appropriate. Because I asked them to mitigate or not to mitigate question. So shouldn't we start doing RFPs for,
That's what I'm hearing.
yes,
They
Yeah.
want to know what we want to do.
right,
so,
And I did find a series of, I did find a summary of the various sites in some of the portal And I printed it out. I saved it actually. And in some cases, they've indicated that we are interested in mitigation. In other places, they've indicated we're not interested in mitigation. So I don't know which ones were noted for Megan Brunk to apply for hydrology study. So I don't
You
know.
don't have that list? I thought I sent you a list of the,
There's a list that Megan produced for the meeting with FEMA, but I don't know which ones we're doing mitigation on.
all of them.
I don't
6
know
of
if
them.
anyone else has a list.
I'm sorry, I sent to, we're gonna have hydraulic studies done on all 6 sites that have water.
Okay. Okay.
And that, the email that came back said that they're backlogged, obviously, there's no cost for the hydraulic studies, but they're
Right.
looking at January, February.
Yeah, I talked with her last week and she said it was gonna be several months, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So that fits the February,
Yeah,
possibly January.
so, I mean, we have, a start on it, but, it is something that we'll need to do. I just wanted to bring it up.
And as
that-
soon as we've done that, Michael would like that information.
The RFPs,
Well, either that or an email describing what we want done with each of them. It appears that are willing to take an RFP or emails. I talked with Patrick this morning and there's.
Patrick is 2021.
I know,
Yeah, okay. I thought we were talking this summer's storms.
we are.
we are, but I'm offering that as a comment. Is that okay?
That's
Great,
fine.
thank you.
Okay.
So that's where we are. We need to do that. We're gonna need to sit down and describe what it is we want to accomplish and look at what we want to mitigate.
All right, so we do have notes on this, and so I'll do my typing again, and then we have to sit down and work on the RFPs for it. And, I'm guessing we're probably gonna be looking at this again in December, just to get this going. Right, right.
Well, there's a meeting that we're having.
There's a meeting on November 28th with Michael to start uploading documents that we have for completed work. That's what that meeting is for, on November 28th. Because he asked me, did I want any assistance on learning how to upload to the portal? And I went, sure.
All
Why
right,
not?
Not knowing what's going on elsewhere, I've already started to upload what I have, some of the stuff.
Where have you uploaded? What are you
To the
uploading?
portal.
But what are you uploading?
The invoice that we got from Bourne,
Well, then we have to coordinate because
I've been asking and looking for that.
I thought we were coordinating.
No, we're not.
Well,
Not
okay,
enough.
okay, well then,
all right, so what we need is, are you guys working together in the same room?
I thought we were sometimes, but.
I've asked questions and never get answers to them, so I don't know what to
Well,
make of
they
it.
you send out really a lot of emails and I don't read them all the time.
Okay.
So if it's
Starting
critical,
late on this.
I know, but this is
we're
important.
late, yeah. If it
They're all
gets.
important.
Mhm.
I'm gonna make
I don't
If
know.
it's something you need an immediate answer to, I know I've said this before, pick up the phone and call me.
Okay, that's what we'll do.
Okay,
All right, so November 28th, that Michael is coming down, you're going to be working on continuing the uploading and reviewing what has been and what still needs to be uploaded for the storm for this summer. I will write to Guy Tanza and schedule that. It is a Tuesday, but it's the day that FEMA,
He's right here.
Guy, well, no, I have to write it, do it
I'll give
right.
you the legal.
Okay,
and Guy,
I know he prefers not to have the town
Yeah.
office being used for these kinds of things, but these are FEMA comes on
yeah,
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I just answered the email to Michael, and I had said in one of my emails that I would contact Guy and
Oh, you
explain
would.
we need the thing, so I've got that,
You got that.
I've got that.
All right, so you'll do that.
If you could, not schedule them for the Tuesdays and Thursdays, that would be appreciated, but I understand emergencies and I understand that we can adapt to whatever is necessary, but if you could eliminate Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 until 2, that would be great.
I know,
But unfortunately, the
Unfortunately, I
28th,
can't.
he's coming anyway at 10,
so
I'll take care of that.
which is a
unfortunately,
Tuesday.
on this one, I can't,
Yeah.
and Stan, I will call you so that we don't cross, so that I don't cross lines.
Well, if you're open to the calls, I'll call you as well.
That's fine, I am open. But I don't think we duplicated anything.
I know we haven't, because if we're going in and each looking at what is already there, I wouldn't duplicate something you've done, and I would
That's fine.
assume you're not
Then
duplicating how I would do.
it's
Okay.
probably not an issue, but
I don't think it would be, or
Yeah,
is.
okay, good.
All
Good,
right,
good.
so I'm gonna move on here. So, the RFPs, we're gonna be meeting to talk about the summer storms and, maybe we'll have some stuff for, Michael by that time. I can certainly get our general notes typed up.
No, there are Archie Clark, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
because
that's
we've got a
fine.
couple of projects done already, Sanborn, the Rink Bridge, those are done.
Good.
Okay, discuss additional FEMA 4621 status, including the final paving. Mark, what did you find out? When are they gonna come?
I was told a week from Monday.
So.
Next Monday.
Monday. Which would
The
be.
6th.
4th?
The
Six.
sixth.
November sixth.
Stan, did
Oh,
you,
yeah, November 6th.
are they
Description
going to,
change.
omit their boilerplate?
Yeah, they already said that. Stan already
Yeah, yeah,
Do
settled
we have that
that.
in writing?
he said
somewhere?
that, he emailed it to me,
Okay,
well, actually, in a phone call, and then I sent it out to
oh,
everybody.
that's right.
So
Okay.
whatever you got
Yeah.
for me is what he said.
Okay, but it's not from him, it's what you recall him saying, so it's second.
Well, I don't have his email, but it's what
Okay.
I repeated, and I sent him a copy of that, and he has not sent me saying, I
Okay.
didn't say that.
All right. My concern with the paving, again, Mark and I were at a paving workshop yesterday, is our temperature and the temperatures of it. I mean, it is a FEMA project and, you know, moisture and temperature is a real problem if we're doing any pavement. It's a small section. However, it's not like we're gonna have trucks and trucks of continuous paving material come in. Mark is gonna have to be there to get the guy started on it. And, I recommend any select board members go up, ask questions if you have a chance. They said to keep people on, teams on their toes, especially this late of the season. I learned a little bit, I'll do some,
That's a small job for them, too.
yeah, it's a very
It
small
is.
job, but it's a big job to us.
Yeah, of course.
So,
So they're gonna be
November
6th.
sixth.
Just as a quick comment, I know we're tight, but for the Allstate job, it appears they've entered the Allstate job as having done the complete area. They didn't, there's no notation that it was only 50% done. So we need to go in and do that, I'll stop there.
Okay. All right, next item on here was a water mitigation grant, and that was through the minutes on the draft minutes that we got. I wasn't sure what that was, and that's why I put a question mark on the agenda. Water mitigation grant.
Well, we have until, well, I don't know, you want to do this, Mark, or you want? me-
No, you go ahead.
Okay, we have until the 8th of November
December,
to,
that's what it was.
it might be December, it's
It
gonna,
is.
or possibly, I brought it with me, let me look.
I think it's the 8th of December.
In
Now
any
I know what
event,
you're talking about.
We have a limited time and we're on a tight time frame for it. And V-Trans, here it is. December 8th. And we need to decide what we want to do for other projects. The dollar amounts are larger than a typical grant. I think roads is 60, culverts might be 60, roads is 40,000. So it's not 250 or anything like that. And so we need to decide what, if anything, we want to do on top of what FEMA's going to do. If there's such a project. And so they'd probably not to take a big time up at a meeting like this, but maybe a work bee somewhere between now and middle of this month to work on something. The application itself is 6 pages long. And sometimes they're expecting design engineering and other kinds of information. So we got to allow ourselves a little bit of time if we're going to do something like that to get those kinds of things, if it's even possible at this
So
point.
I actually went to the paving, road foreman meeting at the firehouse in New Pain, and, it was put on by Wyndham Regional, and, Colin Bratton was there, and Colin wants me to, meet with him. He's coming to, our neighbor towns and wants to stop in. And I told him that I'm kind of in a place where everything we want to do demands a hydraulic study. And the hydraulic study put out there, but we don't know what we can do on the determination of the hydraulic study. We can make a plan, and then if the hydraulic study requires us to upgrade, we might have to delete the plan accordingly. you know, as far as mitigating what we already have. However, Colin said that if we meet up and he would look at any site that I point at, he would do the study, you know, prep it, lock it in so we don't miss out on our opportunity of a grant. And because they do our mapping of all our road inventories, culverts, everything, they would be able to pick something out, less, you know, something that doesn't include a major, hydraulic study, so that we do have some type of a grant savings to work with.
And this is the water mitigation, this is what he's talking about?
Well, yeah, it's
It's culverts, roads.
Centerback Road and GIA grants.
Oh, it's both of those, okay, I was there.
They
too.
just land in
There's
salt sheds.
different classifications
Right.
of grant money available for each type of
Right,
upgrade.
category A,
that
B.
I think the pamphlet I sent you is 17 pages and it describes what's necessary for the various types and so forth, because I didn't want to have to take any more time and instead of go over.
So we're gonna meet together and he'll identify.
Okay,
I told him that, you know, we've all talked to Megan at the meeting, all the surrounding town guys are in the same boat. They're waiting for hydraulic studies and it's a waiting game.
yeah, everybody's waiting. Everybody.
So, but we do have small stuff that we can lock into for, upgrades.
So we're gonna need to know when it comes to budgeting, December 8th is probably an opportune time, what our match is gonna have to be on whatever we do.
Right, yeah, we're gonna have to make sure we have, match money for, you know, anything we're upgrading.
All right, so Mark, you're gonna handle the meeting with Colin and work that out and then have him call and confer with us at some point, because it's all these RFPs and things that have to be done. And
Exactly.
hydraulics is and FEMA is all coming down on our heads at the same time.
Right.
Okay, I also I let Stan know that, and he's gonna follow up on it. Jeff said not to leave money on the table from our GIA grant because the fiscal year grant from 2023 deadline was changed from September 30th, 2023 to September 30th, 2024. And I think we had $12,000 in grant. Was it a $12,000 GIA
We had
grant?
$12,500 in a grant,
And we spent
about roughly 8,000. So we've got quite a bit left over that could have been spent.
right, and so Jeff said that we could still find another culvert to tack onto that. But then again, there might have been some confusion as to how, what the left hand and what Wyndham Regional says versus what the grant people say, so you're gonna follow up on that for me, right?
Yeah, that was told one thing and Jeff told me another thing. You gotta look at, we have assistance. We'd signed a contract for assistance. We have up to $1,500 money that could be available. But for the project we did have done, they billed us $1,188.80. So there's not an awful lot left. And what they did, when you look at what they do, Jeff told me that the money that is left of that $1,500, they're gonna spend just like that for any other project. So we gotta figure out how to finance it. So the solution I'm gonna do tomorrow is contact Ashley Andrews of the appropriate V-Trans department and get her opinion on whether or not we can do it or not. Otherwise, I'll just simply close it out and we'll
And
get
so
our
that what we
roughly $8,000 in 3 weeks.
Okay, very good. All right, we'll go on to new business. So right now we talk about budget development and reviewing past and current budgets. Samara had photocopied and I placed that at your seats, copies of the general funds and revenues. They're not in any particular order, but I just would like to confirm a couple of things. The date, time, and place for this year's town meeting is going to be at night. Correct, and it's gonna be March.
March. I think
So what's the first Monday in
you
March?
guys got computers as calendars on the computer. Jeez, I gotta teach you guys
The
everything.
first Monday in March
I can't
is
believe it. Feel like a hero.
The fourth. So it's gonna be in person in the multi-purpose room, correct? Stop me if I'm wrong.
Seems easy.
It's the multi-purpose room at the daycare on Monday evening, March 4th. And it's going to start at 6 p.m.
What did we do?
and we had dinner at 5.
Oh,
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
6 p.m. Okay, I just wanted to review the date, the time and the place to make sure we all understand that.
Okay.
Okay, town report and design and deadlines, we don't know that yet. But David Jones, Stan said that is going to help us get the town report out. And we'll have some deadlines to get some documents ready. So if anybody is interested in doing a report for their committee or whatever from the select board, please be aware that probably December is when we're gonna need those to be sent to David for fitting it into the book. I also have, and we don't have to discuss this tonight, but if you wanna take one and pass this, we do want everybody to take a look at last year's warning from that, and then the elected offices and appointed offices, realizing
Here, I
that,
got one. I got you.
realizing that there are expirations of terms coming up, and so we just have to be aware and start thinking about that as well. So this should be part of maybe not this discussion, but a future discussion about finding appropriate people to appoint or make sure that the elected positions are going to be filled. Okay?
Okay.
All right, elected, right, so now we're down to articles in the warning. Again, we can discuss that. You have a sample of previous articles in the warning. If we wanted to go back to daytime or Saturday or Tuesday, those are things that you have to consider thinking about sooner rather than
And you
later.
want to cover up some, what of all the articles to add into the
Say again?
into the town report? You want, what's your cutoff to mid-December for anything?
Well, I
added?
think we have to have everything done in December.
Well, last year we finished up everything on the 29th of January. And it was sent last minute to David, so he's capable of handling it that late. December sounds great.
Yeah.
That's our goal. We'll see
Yeah.
if we
Just
make
like-
it or
Just
not.
like our time.
Okay, because otherwise, January 3rd is the first meeting in January, and then,
That's the way to go.
yeah. All right, so, all right, so next we're gonna go back now, we're to, revenue, so.
The typical way that the budget has always been done with the past is you budget expenses first. You figure out your expenses first. There's different ways to do budgets. We develop our taxes, the amount we need to raise by taxes based on the amount of expenditures. In the past, we've only budgeted for funds 1 and 2, which is borne out by this year's the past year's town report. So what I would suggest is that everybody take home their worksheet and pencil in numbers where they think it's appropriate on the expenditure side. And then at our next meeting, we can start going through looking at the expenditures and comparing notes and seeing what we think rough estimates should be. A lot of input will be needed from the highway people. Is Archie going to participate this year?
I emailed him, I have not gotten a response, and the
Okay.
last time we sat down, it was Mark, Archie and I, and,
I'll talk to him.
yeah, so
I've
whether or
talked to
not.
him in the past.
In
so
the
I'll-
past, where they would say, add 5%, but I
Yeah.
think we need a little bit
But-
more.
I think a little more guidance would be useful. I mean, just so that Mark has someone to bounce ideas off of. And we all get to hear it.
Sounds good.
Except it's fine if they just confer privately and then bring it to a meeting.
Yes,
That's fine.
right.
Um,
So you're asking me to have Mark, Archie come to the next meeting?
I don't know. Let's see. I think it might be premature.
Yeah,
Okay,
But I do think that Mark should talk to Archie, and I'm gonna give Archie a call and make sure he's participating.
Yeah, that would be.
so we're gonna. do-
Okay, and then, the only thing I included that because of the way Melissa has changed some of the way things work now, like records restoration is no longer in Fund 1, it's its own fund.
uh-huh,
Same with the capital improvement,
separate
same
it.
with the rainy day fund. I don't know if we budget for that or not. The school building I put in because this year we mistakenly allocated all the revenues out of that fund, and obviously we need to leave some revenue in that fund.
right, and I asked if you would do a budget for your
So
building.
that's
We
why,
figured
so I
that.
put the school here, so you can look at
Okay.
what we think are actual expenditures.
We already have that for last year.
No, I know, it's
Okay.
here,
Oh, it's there.
It's here.
Okay.
yeah, so I included that.
Good, thank you.
Whereas normally it would not be. I did not put in the meeting house or any of the others. Because for tax reasons, I mean, we don't budget tax revenue for that,
Yeah.
but this year we do have ARPA funds, so we could consider. How much of the ARPA funds as part of the budget need to be split up and used by when do they have to be used? 2026. So see if we want to consider that as part of the budget process. Those are all my thoughts.
They need to be committed by the 31st of December 2024.
Not
And
by
then,
2020, oh, the
and then
2024.
actually spent by the
Good,
end of
good,
twenty
good,
twenty-six.
good to know.
Right.
That I did not know.
Right.
So that's a good reason to discuss that, how we want to commit this.
Okay.
And that would also answer some questions. As far as the meeting house committee, they obviously are doing their own planning, and they should figure out, they can start trying to figure out what things cost and things like that for what their fundraising schedule is gonna look like.
And I did ask, I asked Leanne in an email that if the meeting house was going to ask for appropriation funding from the town, that she needs to get that into us next meeting.
Well, that's not typically,
It's not typical, but it's
Appropriation.
it's
possible.
not a social service.
Wait a minute, can't do that, can you?
But we can, if
The
they,
meeting house is not a social service, Dot. It has to,
but if they would like the town to budget money from the taxpayers to go in the warning, that they should let us know ahead of time so that we can discuss it.
We could
Oh.
ask, it could go as warning.
Yes.
You can
That's
make
what I
this
mean.
an article.
It could be an article, it wouldn't, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
should
I'm
listen-
just getting caught up on the terminology.
Yeah, it's not appropriation.
So, yeah, because appropriations and,
Appropriation is just a town.
yeah, it's a different thing. And then the last thing I think we should consider is just looking at the personnel. That'll be a big
Okay.
consideration in budgeting.
My list is, my list of things to discuss, as we go through is that we really need to, put additional monies into our rainy day fund. We have to really look closer at, also improving our capital improvement fund. One of the things that we now have with equipment is that we really should be looking at and having an equipment replacement fund. We have a wheeled excavator that has, quite a few years on it from 1986. There was a time, and I do have notations when they were saving $1 an hour from the use of the excavator and putting it towards the repair and replacement fund, but that, I found that it's not,
Grader.
the grader. Didn't I say something?
You said
else?
that.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
a
excavator, grader,
and That
grader.
was,
So replacing starting to save money for the next 5-10 years for a new grader. We're gonna
it
need
was
that.
budgeted out of normal highway funds is how it was budgeted.
So we need to discuss it because it's
It
not.
wasn't an additional tax appropriation, just so you know.
Well, also, we need to talk about computers. We already mentioned the daycare, building budget. If there's any budgeting necessary for historic buildings.
Yeah, actually, computers should not be budgeted for 2025. We should deal with that this year.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
Hourly raises, I know what Newfane does is every year they add an additional 50 cents per hour to the raises. We have some people who haven't gotten raises in a while, like the listers are making, Helen Holt's making $15 an hour, that we may want to, look at those. We have always talked about it, but we always get talked out of doing audits and treasury audits with 5 different treasurers. Are we going to consider doing that? I also want to look at, additional stipends, maybe for some positions. We haven't talked about the select board assistant, and I think the select board stipend
It's
should
on my
also be
list
that.
too. I have some ideas about the select board assistant.
Okay.
So some new undiscussed ideas, but
Right.
that can wait.
Right. Of course, with the highway, we need to talk about additional fuel, maintenance, repairs, replacements, covering our salt, gravel shed. We talked about cement floors, matching grants, and other repairs that we have to be prepared for. So those are things that I know that we need to talk about. Anybody else? And then we can go and start working on something right now.
I'm not prepared for it, no.
Well, when you're looking at this form that you gave us, the revenue sheets, Samara,
You mean it's the comparative budget form?
the revenue sheets,
So we're gonna,
No, I
so
didn't.
there's nothing for us to do.
You're looking on the wrong pages, Dot.
No, I have this, but I'm
Right,
saying,
but
what is
these,
this? What do we do with this?
I just put them in for info. We don't budget. It says on the top of the
Right.
page,
Right,
generally no budgeted tax dollars. The way the budget works, there's two packets. One that's actually the budget.
right,
Then the other funds that Melissa gave me, and I thought, keep them for information.
so these are the amounts that were raised through
So what
revenue. from
Yeah,
other
well, you have
sources.
two complete years. And then, actually, you have 3. You have the budget number, the budget versus actual for the completed year, the one that ended June 2023. Then you have our budget, our approved budget for 2024, and then you have blank lines for 2025.
Correct.
I would skip all the revenue items.
All of these.
No, the revenue items and the expense items are on the same page.
oh,
Okay.
That's what I was asking.
So, and unfortunately, they don't give you, it goes 1/6 is all total revenues. Okay, and it goes to total. The next one, and the only one that unfortunately got moved, is the education tax expense, which we don't budget. You can cross that off. Cross off the first line item on page 1 is WRMUED education tax expense. It's not our job. We don't do that.
oh, okay, cross that off.
Start with select board. And all the employees mostly are all listed in order. Okay, and also I should note I asked Melissa to do this in our standard format, which is the way it's always been done before the accounts are being reorganized, which Melissa told me they're done. Chip from Nemrick is ready to upload it into the Nemrick system. He was just waiting for a final okay. But I said, if you give us a new budget with everything rearranged differently,
Oh, boy.
we won't have comparisons from the prior year in the same order. It'll be too confusing. Just give it to me the way it is now and then upgrade the system in Nemrick. So Nemrick is ready to be upgraded. And what that will do is actually group things in a much more, I hope, readable fashion. Remember, we talked about that a long time ago, and it finally is ready.
Are you
But
staying with Nemrick though?
yeah, we're staying with Nemrick.
I thought there was some other.
No, there's no other affordable software of which I'm aware. Okay,
All right.
there are better softwares. They're just not cheap.
Yeah.
So, so basically, start with Fund 1, halfway down the page, cross off that first line and start with all of the personnel rows, which then go into all of the town expenses that get budgeted. And also include, go all the way down through 1.7. Halfway down the second page.
What are we doing?
You're gonna see all the list of the social appropriations.
Right.
So those we usually will put in last when we get all the rest, all of
Yeah.
the requests, and it goes as a separate warning.
And it
Right.
But
starts-
in our accounting system, it's part of the
Starts with groundworks, right?
thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
1.8, yeah.
And then the other thing you can ignore, anything that says transfer out. Transfer out line items, transfer in and transfer out line items, which are generally the last line of any of the expense or revenues, are simply,
Oh, transfer out.
like non-refundable transfers between funds. So for example, when the ARPA money is committed to another fund and it goes into that fund as a revenue and comes out of ARPA as an expense, and that's what the 1999 transfer in. Transfer out,
Okay, makes sense.
Okay.
The next page 4 of 15 begins with the highway. And again, you can ignore the revenues for the time being. We'll put them in eventually. We'll put in highway revenues, we do put in things like state aid and things. We will deal with revenue eventually, but start with the expenses.
Okay, makes sense.
We start with the expenses
And we'll come back to that. Okay.
and then we come back and we look at revenues.
We'll have to win or
And
pay.
then, records restoration is part of clerk fees. So that'll be an automatic percentage. You don't have to think about the other pages too much until we get to the school fund. And the rainy day fund, we'll talk about the capital rainy day and all that stuff we can talk about separately. But I would start with funds 1 and 2 because those are the two hardest ones to get done. And then make sure that in the school fund, before we funnel the revenue to any other fund, that we
Pull out
leave
its
enough
own
money
budget
in
and-
to cover their
I
costs.
think right now we're what, $1,100.
Yeah, the school needs to have at least a break-even budget.
Mhm.
So
That
does that
makes-
make sense to everybody so far?
Yeah.
Much.
I'm getting a little foggy now. As it gets later in the evening, I get a little foggy.
Well, welcome to that crowd.
So,
If anyone wants one number on page 4 of the 15, state aid. Melissa asked me to give her the website, so I printed it out for Brookline last
oh,
night.
good, we can put in a number.
It's $46,075.33.
Where are we doing state aid? What was
That's
it?
what we know we're getting
That's
next.
what we know we're getting
How
next
much is
year.
it?
$46,075.33.
So we're getting more than last year. Oh, no.
Yeah, it tends to go up.
What, 46?
$46,075.33.
Okay.
And we'll get some of these expense items too, like from, the VLCT dues, we'll have to.
We got that.
I've got that,
Came
we
in
got
the
that.
mail.
So, but let's hold it till
All right.
next week or unless we have time, if we're not over time, then we can put
We're at
it,
8 right now.
we're at 8, so,
Well, yeah, a couple of minutes, Dave.
okay. So, yeah, my thought is particularly with the things that we have to really think about, those are the ones I would focus on for homework. You know, looking at the numbers in between FEMA grants. Just
All right, so
looking.
you're asking for the next meeting to have us penciled in some of our
Yeah.
anticipated expenses and or additional items that
and,
will be.
Guy's still on. Guy, do you have I don't know if you have can we leave Guy one of these?
He needs one of
He's,
those.
Yeah,
I do have one of those reports, yes. I have a
Good.
hard copy in front of me.
good, because you'll be able to help estimate with a lot of the important town clerk revenues. That's where Guy really comes in. He can come in particularly with knowing what clerk fees usually are,
Oh.
all the registration fees, all the licensing fees,
Right,
all
we
of
don't
that
know
stuff.
that, yeah.
Right, I
we
have, yeah, I can help you with that. I just wanted to add this one point in regards to the computers. I've been extremely careful in our office not to spend any unnecessary money because we're still waiting for the reimbursement from FEMA. But the bottom line is that we do need computers, and I don't know what we've appropriated last year, but we haven't spent any of that money. So I don't know if it was ARPA money or
No, we
town
didn't put it in
budget.
for ARPA.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
discussed it, but it wasn't obligated. We thought it would come out of municipal funding.
Right.
All right, our computers are 10 years old, and
The
the bottom line is that a lot of the organizations are going into cloud apps, for instance, NEMRIC, and that takes
Yes.
a little, it makes the computer a little easier to figure out what we need because we don't need such a big, powerful computer to hold a lot of data because basically the apps are holding the data for us, for instance, NEMRIC. So,
Right.
going forward, like I said, I've been extremely careful of not spending any money that I felt was not absolutely necessary.
You're a good shopper, guy. I know that. But
Our flat screens are good. The computer screens are fine. It's just the CPUs that need to be replaced.
they
the-
may
the-
come as a package.
The monitors at this point, no, normally with desktops, you get the base, the tower, and then the monitors are separate, and the keyboards usually come, they give you a basic keyboard, but our keyboards, except for one, are okay. The monitors are okay. They got big monitors for the treasurer and the listers. Our monitors are serving us well. So that is not an issue. I think right now it's the tower, and that's where we have to think about it. But by the same token, Comcast, because we get our internet for free, is giving us, an amount of bandwidth, but sometimes it's just incredibly slow, only
Well,
because, we're limited to what they
computers
can
are
give
old.
us.
And the computers are old. Older
Yes.
computers are much slower than the newer
Oh, yeah,
computers.
absolutely. So I
And
just thought I added that to, I don't know what we've budgeted this year for computers because we still have until June 30th of 2024 to spend some of this money. But again, I hesitated to do anything until we get this reimbursement from FEMA.
It looks like the supplies, would come under supplies and postage, I think you told us.
Mhm.
And there's $3,750 in supplies and postage. See, with what this doesn't
What
tell
page,
us-
I'm sorry, Dot, what page are you on?
Page
Page
one,
Page
one.
1, supplies and postage.
right here. We'll be lower.
Yes, okay, right. And again, those are all contingent upon postage prices staying pretty flat. But again, we've had another increase in postage. And because we have a lot, we're doing a lot more mailing than we have done before, which is understandable. We have different committees, different things. But the postage, those supplies have been pretty flat only because I've been buying what's absolutely necessary for us to operate in town.
All right. So those are the things that when you want to make a contribution to suggesting that the supplies and postages. So if you have one of these forms, you could pencil it in and if you can come to the next meeting, that would be helpful.
Right, I will. I've looked at this pretty carefully, and I see a few things that we can work on, but we're as tight as we can be in the town office at this point.
Yeah, okay. All right,
Okay, that's good.
so we have our marching orders to work on with this. Is there anything else? Then we can move on to accounts
Okay.
warrants.
Mm-mm. I'm good for now.
Okay. Alright. Okay, I'll tell you, I know you were gonna talk to Judy, and I guess I could have emailed her. She's still not leaving if I sign a payroll.
I've said it like several
All
times.
right,
So wait, I can just go pull it out.
You can pull it out, but I have my,
If you,
printout of what I signed on the
yeah,
25th.
it's the payroll, okay.
Okay, all right, so right
I have to
now I'm
look
gonna
at
do
checklist.
payroll warrant. I'd like to make a motion to approve payroll warrant 24/17 dated 10/25/23. I'd like to make a motion that you concur with my signing the payroll warrant 24/17 from October 25th in the amount of $1,699.24. May I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Noga. Discussion. Again, I came in and signed it and dated when I signed it because it was.
And the next payroll is being run this Friday, so it'll be the same deal for the
Have
next
to
time.
come in and do that. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of concurring with my signing payroll warrant 24/17 dated 10/25/23 in the amount of $1,699.24 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right, next item, I'd like to make a motion to approve accounts payable warrant 24/18 dated November 1st, 2023 in the amount of, what is my eyesight here, in the amount of $2,154.47. May I have a second?
Okay.
Seconded by Mr. Mello. Any discussion? I went through, it looks, I'll pass it around. You want to pass it around or just motion? Okay. All right. All those in favor of approving accounts payable warrant 24/18 on November 1st for $2,154.47 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, hearing none, the motion passes and I'll send it around for you to sign. There's nothing in it.
Nothing in there.
No, that one, yeah, I have talked to them. So we used to have checklists for for everything that needed to be in everything. I'm gonna resurrect that. I was in on Sunday working with Melissa,
Sure.
so you know. It's interesting. Okay. Easy.
All right, next item, as we finish the signatures, Mark, I have you on for highway supervisor, you wanna have any summary?
Are we on 5 minutes for each one of these?
Yeah, there's approximately, just so you know, based on this, there's approximately 5 minutes each.
Okay.
So talk fast or read
Yeah,
quickly.
just continuing with roadside mowing in the past couple of weeks. I utilized the leaf blower that works well. I've used the truck to haul materials onto the roads. I hauled materials onto one of the sites for FEMA repair, the town line, to do the armor repair on the road shoulder. I've taken the grader out, did a touch up in the pothole on some of the roads that were potholing due to the rains. I plan to continue general maintenance. As well as meeting with Colin Bratton in this for grant consideration studies for next year. And that basically comes to that.
Okey-dokey. And you did attend the highway foreman's meeting yesterday. We
Yes.
both did. It was very informative on paving.
Very interesting, very informational meeting yesterday.
I got some information from that meeting about paving.
How many people were
RFPs.
there?
About 40, 30?
Well,
Yeah, it was several, maybe 8, 9 surrounding Wyndham County towns.
Yeah.
It was a road foreman's meeting and
Anybody can
town
go. They
staff
want
is
us to all
also,
consider. Yeah.
But it's put on by Wyndham Regional and They had a couple of speakers.
That's
Yeah.
good. I was just
Yeah,
curious.
it was great.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Noga, highway grants and contracts.
Now, did Stan get the extra time from Mark?
Yeah,
Okay, so,
No, I don't really need any
Oh,
extra
okay.
time. Thank you, though. It's very kind of you to consider that. But anyway, I don't want to spend more time. The issue of the grants and aid and the potential for continuing that on, I will follow that up and investigate it, but I have essentially everything ready to report it. You may recall that, over the last week, out of the blue, I got a letter from AOT regarding the sand and salt shed scenario. In theory, we have fees due totaling approximately $37,000 that we budgeted for this past year. We actually sent the letter in on the 2nd of November of 2022, advising them that we were withdrawing, and then at some point shortly thereafter, we got advised that we were on the hook to the AOT for essentially $37,000, just under that. They were supposed to, at that point in time, let us know if we had any options to lessen or have a waiver on that. We hadn't heard anything. And as you may recall, within the last 45 days, Margot Gia in a meeting here brought up the fact that that money was owed, and had we heard anything? We had not. She apparently reached out to AOT in her capacity as Wyndham Regional, being the manager of the sand and salt shed in behalf of the town. And this past week, we got a letter from Chris Hunt, who was the municipal projects manager for AOT. And he referenced 19 VSA 309A, 19 VSA number 5, and then 19 VSA 309F. And those are statutes that pertain to monies owed to the state by towns, and under certain circumstances, if there are issues that are beyond the town's control, we can request a waiver and or a discount on the monies owed. So I wrote a 2-page letter comprised of the reference to the statutes which he required, and that it was beyond the town's control, and the increases in materials costs, construction, etc. And that was sent or delivered to him, if not last Friday afternoon. It was last Friday afternoon. He sent me an email acknowledging receipt of it and indicating that it was approved under his purview, and that he would send it on to the appropriate. Well, it was Ed Flynn, head of the VO Agency of Transportation for Vermont. Ed makes that decision as to whether it's waived or discounted, and so I have no idea what will happen. However, if I can look at the tone and the content of his email to me, it looks like we have a very good chance of having a lot of this done away with, if not all of it.
You'd be saving us quite a bit of money.
Yeah, so if we get that 37,000, that may go to some other need the town has.
Oh, boy.
The other thing I've been doing a lot of, almost 3 hours every day, is FEMA. Reading the necessary aids. They have several journals. One of them 210 pages long. I haven't read them all, but I've read the pertinent sections. I had a lengthy discussion this morning with Patrick Donlin from FEMA Boston, and it appears that they just need to know the information in detail on
1 minute left there.
Bennett Road and Holland Hill Road, and they want to know the follow-up to the paving. And if we can state to them that the paving is done and Bennett Road is done, they'll be able to reach a point where they can obligate the money so that we receive money without actually closing it out yet, which is another phase that we need to enter. It appears because we're under a $250,000 total dollar amount, it might even be the $1 million amount, they are allowing some of the documentation that Samara, and she probably, I don't know, maybe already knows this, but some of the documentation that you're preparing with Melissa or whoever.
Well, a lot of it is gathered now. The only challenge left was sorting through Mark's timesheets.
Uh-huh. Well, I had this impression that everything needed to be on those sheets that we were given, that the project number and
They were-
also did, and
I've heard-
apparently that they're waiving that.
Yeah, I've heard from Melissa that they'll accept other formats,
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah.
Okay,
I'm gonna go back into my email communications with the person who was our project manager. I think her name was Jessica, before Patrick. That I shared, and I sent to her the fact that the paving on Putney Mountain Road was not completed. And
Uh-huh.
here is the parcel I sent to them. Here was what we did get completed, and we're waiting and so I'll look for that email and share
Thank
that
you.
with you if it's helpful.
If you would help, yeah, that would be great.
I
that
think
would
she
be
was
great.
Jessica was the press
Yeah.
He
manager.
did say, I'll over, but you might all be interested. They're still holding in reservation the potential
Bruce is up.
for the mitigation of Holland Hill Road. So that's not a dead issue.
Oh, good. Before you finish, I'm gonna let you bring this up. I showed it to you when we were here. This is the contract for 3 wired guys that Judy has prepared for us to, as a vendor providing, tech service.
Is there a number here? Is this an open contract or whatever?
It's wire guys, isn't it their standard contract?
This is a standard contract, but is there any?
I would assume it looks like it contains most of the articles, but I don't see a dollar amount that the contract is for.
There
Have we
is-
always left them open?
Yes, we've always left it open in the past. They charge what they charge, I think.
Mhm.
Actually, Guy would know.
He's gone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't think we've ever put in a dollar amount on the 2 wired guard contract
this is
that I.
a copy of an existing. that
They
we have.
usually send up contract. There's an annual contract for 2 wired guys that they
But this is
send up.
our contract, so it's not the
This
one
is
from
our
2 wired
contract.
guys. It doesn't say what they provide, so should I?
Nor
take
does it
I
reference
would-
the other contract.
Yeah, I would just reference the other contract. Why does Judy think we need this one?
I don't know, but I think I'm gonna table that and bring it
Table
to, table this for the next meeting.
I don't know if I've helped you or answered your question or not.
Well, I don't see any service itemization of what services they're going to provide.
No, it doesn't.
It's itemized in their contract.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have, I don't see.
So you need their contract.
Yes, we've been
Okay.
building in other individuals' contracts or criteria or conditions
So if you
if
give,
we've accepted them.
I'll email, put a note on it for Judy to see if she can find the actual contract that this is referring to so that we have more for the next meeting. Okay, anything else?
No, I don't have anything else.
Okay, Bruce?
Okay, I've been waiting. For the last time we had a discussion about about the meeting house having a priority list. I had Leanne make up a priority list, which is really good. So just pass this around to all you. You can look at it at your own convenience. And since we're talking about money somewhere down the road here, Vanessa, you want one?
I just gave her
Oh.
mine. If you give me
Okay, and
another one?
and you can have one too, Mr. Bills. And you all can look at that at your own pleasure and, we can discuss down the road. How money's gonna be moved around and et cetera, et cetera. I want to spend the remainder amount of my 5 minutes, I love this, to talk about this letter that I had with Lion Well. And you all got a copy of what I sent to them, and I sent them that copy, or that. And then it's come to my attention that it was an email sent to Lion Well drilling invoice, and we're included and we were not included in the email, we're not given an opportunity to respond to concerns, okay. Then she went to an explanation about what I asked to have done, which was all true. But then I canceled the appointment. And then I said to her when I canceled the appointment, I still would like to have the filters at your convenience, which I said in that letter. She didn't at that time said that there was gonna be a service fee charge. And then she permitted somebody to come into the building and go downstairs in the boiler room, then it dawned on me later on, bingo. I've told them in the past, no one goes in that boiler room without me. Amen, end of story. The only one that was permitted to do that, and they've been given permission to do it, is Sean and Hiram Knapp from Coda and Coda. Now Sean's not, is at a different location, so I won't be getting him, but if they have a new person, that will be resurrected. I don't permit, and remember we had that discussion about locking the door and.
So the girls upstairs didn't tell the guy to go downstairs? Okay.
No, now let me see. I've been having problems personally, and with vendors generally about them doing what I want them to do, and I ask them specifically to do. And that's what set off the first part, which is not to let them come into the building unless I'm there. Now I'm getting to the point where people, companies, it's usually basic companies, not so much individuals like our electric, yep, no problem. Scott and Harry were great. We're gonna go in this time, I need to keep, blah, blah, blah. Good. Now, so I'm getting to the point where I almost have to email with my requests, so I have a backup.
Yes.
And it's getting strange. I have had conversations with Jamie a million times from Coda and Coda. And 21 visits for between 21 and 22 to fix a heating system. And I told her that this time I needed somebody to close down the water system for the meeting house, because I didn't want to ask the Carrie at this point in time. The very next day, Carrie said, well, no, I need the water. And I said, okay, well, the way it was left with Coda and Coda is they were gonna call me when they were ready to come, their plumbing department. They just appeared. Can't have that. They didn't charge us, but here's an example with Lime Well, that they appeared, never told me they were gonna charge me for a service fee to drop off some filters. No. Well, we paid the bill, so it's over the hill, or whatever you wanna call it. And I'm just gonna have to change my approach with everybody from here on in. I'm done.
Get it in writing. I hear you.
Just along with what Bruce gave out, I got this from Leanne. It's something you want to couldn't make
That's
copies.
it. Is it
Yeah,
one
this-
from
this is-
Dan?
The old
That's the
one.
old.
Yeah,
The only question we wondered about that is how much of that was done.
this is, I read it through and I didn't include that with what I gave you
Oh, okay.
because I felt that it was not accurate, was reaching,
It was,
paint exterior to be
Okay,
determined.
okay. Good.
So I thought her
That's something
priority
I
list
did.
is very close to what I would have written.
Good.
Oh, April.
Okay.
So
Okay,
what
this
that's
is
worth.
back from April 2021. Okay.
So I guess.
Right.
Stamp.
So when we go,
Thank you.
we'll take a look at
You
that.
could actually keep it.
So, thank you, Bruce.
I can put in a circular file.
Energy committee's
Yeah.
been tabled, planning committee, Samara, you have something to pass out?
I do. This is just, we had a good meeting on Saturday morning. And this is, Stan's already seen it. He's on the committee. Are you typing the minutes?
I sent him out this afternoon.
Oh, you did? I didn't, it must have been.
It was late. It was like 4 o'clock.
Oh, okay, good. It was after I checked email. So basically, those are all what was accomplished. We should have a draft. We're gonna work on a draft survey to go out. Any questions?
No, does Vanessa need one of these? Would you like?
This one.
Yeah.
Community solar panel?
Oliver Ames put that together and I just said, can I copy it? And he said, sure. So I
What do you
did.
like, community solar panel, energy resilience, community solar panel,
Pardon?
energy resilience.
Yeah, no,
potential-
these are potential new survey topics.
They're updating the survey.
We're updating the town plan survey. And so some of the topics we discussed, including new survey topics, are solar energy.
Okay,
Because right now the plan says not next to buildings, closer, only on rooftops, things like that.
okay.
So, yeah.
Okay,
So these are just some of the things that came out of that meeting.
okay.
Well, thank you very much. Anything else, Samara?
No, our energy committee meeting is this Friday afternoon coming up. And I have a phone call with Marco Dia on Friday morning to see if she'll find a way to put the meeting house back into the assessment list.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
We should have done that initial vote, you know.
So that's all from me.
Okay, all right, so select board chair, we are working with Margaret Gia for the hazard mitigation planning. We had a meeting last week. There were, I think, 10 people involved, including those in person and some on Zoom. I've did some outreach and I have some other people who would like to attend the meeting. The next meeting will be on November 8th. At 6:30 here at Town Hall. It will also be on Zoom. I will do the same front porch forum, Julie LaVorgna, Brookline Facebook page, bulletin boards and emails for getting people to come to that, just analyzing the data that was collected at the last meeting.
How many
And
came to that meeting?
there was about 10 of us.
It was a
Both
good
in
meeting.
person and then online, people online.
I thought it was a good meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
And minutes are available for that? No,
I'm sorry.
there's no minutes available for that, right?
Vanessa is working on that, and I'm gonna check with Margot, because Margot is going to,
So Vanessa was here?
Vanessa was online, right?
Yes.
And, yeah, she was online. You were in person?
No, no, it was
You're
online.
online, yeah. I'm like. Look at the
It
people.
said Vanessa Blue up on the screen.
Yeah, it's a name. And she received the video that's, I guess, Stan, you sent her the video from the meeting.
I did record the meeting, but I haven't sent it. Did you want me to do that?
But
Or,
somebody did send it to me.
okay.
Who sent it to you then?
I don't know. I never know who sends it. I always assume it's Guy.
Probably was,
You just look at
Well,
the
why
heading.
would Guy send it to me?
just to be a nice guy.
All right.
Okay,
Okay, so,
You
we,
can't tell who
if you
sent
read
it.
the old, from 2017, the hazard mitigation plan, it was supposedly spearheaded by the town clerk, and the town clerk was supposed to be in charge of setting up the meetings and making sure that the, different conditions were being met. And so at this time, we're looking at appointing, a new chair for the hazard mitigation committee. I don't mind being on it. Does somebody want to co-chair it with me? I know, Samara, you've been involved, and Paul and Stan and Bruce. I mean, everybody's busy, but
What meeting?
Who else is
the
on,
hazard mitigation,
Oh.
who else is on the hazard mitigation committee?
Margot, Gia, Stan, myself,
Oliver, Chris,
Oliver,
Oliver was there.
he was there, Chris Staley. Well, so some of those
Yeah,
people were
Christina.
involved in the planning commission and residents that were coming into the hazard mitigation.
oops, sorry,
So,
Turn tunes up. I can hear that.
they had to put it on silent. Sorry.
so is anybody interested in, co-chairing it with me, because I have.
I would ask Oliver. He's on the planning commission, see if he's interested. He's great. If you have a chance to get him to co-chair anything, do it. See if he will. That's just my suggestion, having now worked with him.
If he doesn't, I'll try to do the best I can to help you out.
Okay.
Well,
I'm feeling like
Or I would if he doesn't,
Paul will.
That sounds good.
There
too.
you go.
so.
Paul,
All right, we got a fight. Oliver, Paul, stand up. We've got a big team going. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, so
I can't take on.
I'm gonna table this at this time
Yeah,
and just maintain my current status of getting the emails out until I talk to, Mr. Ames. All right, any other topics as requested by the select board that do not require a vote?
just a reminder, there's also a meeting, the MTAP meeting is November 11th.
Okay, so that's one of the things I
Two at the
have.
same time. That meeting and another meeting, I forget which, there's
On
another,
the 11th?
on the 11th, both at 9 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah,
Where's the other one?
I'll email you what it is. I noticed it
It's
today.
not here.
No,
There's an 11/11 meeting here.
What day is
Well,
that?
that's what I have.
Saturday.
Item 10, because there are a lot of meetings, and so before we go, when we're setting the agenda, I'm gonna we're gonna
Well,
confirm those dates.
we had this one from the last time, remember? So what's the other meeting on the 11th? I know
I-
11, the last time we had our town planning followed by hazard mitigation. And this time we have the MTAP brainstorming session for opportunities. It's kind of like a mini town planning meeting is how I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
It's not the same as town planning, but it's like a mini town thing. So, and I said I'd do a flyer. I've got it drafted. I'm gonna put it up and spread the word as best I can, because I said I'd take that on.
And that's
just
just November 11th.
November 11th,
And
9
tap.
till 11.
9 to 11. Okay, on November, here at Town Hall,
Here at Town Hall.
on November 8th at 6:30 PM, there is a
Yeah, I
hazard
got that.
mitigation meeting. On November 8th at 2:30, I am Zooming with a ADA, American Disability Act review. And Leanne and Dan Towler are gonna come over and we're going to sit and watch and participate in an ADA Zoom meeting that we signed up. Anybody could sign
I'm
up.
registered for
Yeah, I
that.
saw that. I didn't sign up
So
for
I
it.
signed up for it and Leanne and Dan are gonna,
Other
would like to
people
go
can do
to
it,
just
yeah.
to come work. So that's there. And as we go on, if there's other meetings, I really should know about that in order to make sure that that we notify this guy. All right, any other topics as requested? No. All right, communications, emails. Well, we have gotten some emails. I think Stan is handling most of that and Samara with the FEMA notifications, and there's a meeting, November 28th at 10 AM at Town Hall. There is another FEMA
it's-
meeting
And
with
it's specifically FEMA uploading.
FEMA uploading meeting.
And that way we can clarify how they want everything.
Okay,
I figured that would be good.
all
And
right,
it's specific to 4720. He can't
47.
help with 4621. That's next
okay.
for his email.
All right.
What was that date and time again?
November 28th, and it's just for uploading to the cloud.
And in Mark and Stan, we have our November 13th, pick up the ball of the other stuff
Okay.
meeting.
Yeah,
If you
Yeah,
can
we
come
going on November 9th,
November 9th,
November 9th,
what about 9?
to register the truck.
the truck,
No, that's the 17th.
17th,
17th
Okay.
at 11:50 AM.
okay.
I'll put it in your
November
calendar.
17th is the
Yeah.
truck,
November
November
17th.
9th is what?
That's a
Nothing.
Friday.
It was a fantasy of mine.
November 13th is something else, did you say you were gonna meet?
And
with-
November 13th is a working meeting with me and Mark mostly.
Okay,
And that's when Stan took a lot of mitigation notes.
okay, and, do we wanna have a working meeting to review over the, grants project application before it's due December 8th? Stan, you wanna?
Yeah, yeah,
Pick up, I'm not going anywhere, so. we can-
okay,
I'm not in on that.
let's see. You wanna do it, it'd be the week of the 15th, or do you wanna do it the end of next week? Oh, we've got a lot that, I think, 16th or 17th, I'd suggest. Is
Let's
that,
do
I
the
don't know,
17th,
All right.
November 17th. You're gonna be doing the truck on the 17th.
that's right. I
So
can't
we can
that.
do it in the afternoon or the evening.
No, I'm gonna allow some time. When I sat there last time, there were people that were there the better part of an hour. So not knowing, and seems to be all dependent on the guy on the other side of the counter.
Let's do it the 16th.
All right, if that's okay, I mean,
Yeah, all right,
All
so we'll confirm the time and we'll send out an email
I'd rather not disappoint you.
for Stan and the application for grants stuff. Which is due December 8th. All right. So those were
And when
emails.
are you meeting with Colin to go over some things?
Well, it was supposed to be tomorrow,
Uh-huh,
so if it's not tomorrow, it's gonna be very soon.
okay. Could you let us know what your thoughts are and what you had in mind and him?
Yeah,
So that we can, when we get together on the 16th, we'll be aware of that.
okay,
Is that okay?
yeah.
And, all right, the VLTC Jews came in an email And regular mail, I got a mail letter I got a couple of appropriation requests. I put it in Judy's box. She'll be putting together combining. We did get a letter from the Wyndham County Sheriff's Office, which is important for budgeting, that their rate per hour for contracts, and anything less than 2,000 hours is $64 an hour. What we usually do is we budget for 10 hours of.
I remember.
So we'll have
It
this
used to be
for our,
$50 an hour.
yeah. Yeah,
While you're on that topic, well,
$64.
I think Samara, Dot and I went to a meeting last Tuesday
oh, yes.
at the Townsend Town office. And at the end of that meeting, a select board member from another town close by asked this two, I think we were together, you were talking with someone else, Samara. She asked if we'd be interested in going a share with the sheriff's department, Newfane, Townsend.
A lot of
Brookline.
people are thinking about that. Yeah.
So that was asked of us. I don't know how you want to handle that or what. we'll
Another
talk about
shared
another day.
service question.
Yeah,
Right, and that's why when I brought that up to Jeff Nugent at Wyndham Regional, he thought that was a good idea because he says that is going to be lots of things are gonna be done in the future. So just becoming more resilient, being able to, share services for policing activities. Okay, probably divided by per capita rates.
or mileage or whatever.
Yeah. All right, so setting the agenda for the next meeting on Wednesday, November 15th. We're going to November 15th, let's see. Three wired guys.
Two wired guys.
Is it two wired guys? That's just, it's what? Okay.
You're multiplying. It's okay.
Two wire guys. And then what else should we?
Should I contact Judy to see what that other contract is?
Oh, okay, the contract, you wanna,
I mean, I just want to make sure that one of us doesn't assume the other's doing it and miss it. So just if we can decide who's gonna, I mean, I don't know.
I'll ask you to do it.
Okay.
Get the contract hat on, I just saw it flash and I said, okay, I'll do that. So the contract, the trees, but we said the trees is in December, okay. To be arranged. Okay,
And budget.
oh yeah, the budget. So we'll do the
Follow up
budget
on
for
the
most
Just
of the.
call it budget basics.
Okay, budget basics.
Get as much.
I can hardly wait.
All right, anything else at this time?
Classes.
But we're way ahead because we have Samara's expertise. You know, really, I mean, that's a big.
Well, I'm not knocking
Melissa
it.
asked,
I'm just giving her a hard time.
tell Melissa when she should attend. Cause she can answer financial questions
Yeah.
that I won't be able to pull up.
RFP update.
Oh, right.
And if maybe she can do it by
Brookline
Zoom
Meeting
if that's more
House,
convenient for her.
RF
Cause everything's
Oh,
on there.
update,
I'll
thank you.
get what I can answer.
Okay, all right, if anybody has anything else, shoot them to me before that Friday, and I can add it to, the agenda. If there's nothing else, I'm gonna make a motion to adjourn this evening's meeting.
Go ahead.
8:38. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I need copies of both of those
I'm
RFPs.
just gonna make photocopies now.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Let me stop
Let's go home.
recording. Thank you, you too.
And Stan, I'm sorry for the confusion.
It
We'll just, it's just communication is tricky.
can be,
Call me.
yeah, all right, I will. Yes. I'm gonna
Recording stopped.
Yes, it is.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Okay.
Patty, Patty.